What if doing everything right with your money is actually keeping you from getting ahead? You save. You avoid unnecessary spending. Your bank balance grows. But years later, you look at that balance and realize your money barely grew with you. And that raises a bigger question. When should your money stop sitting still and start working? Saving and investing are not enemies. They simply have different jobs. Your savings are there to protect you from life happening at the worst possible moment. Your investments are designed to give your money a chance to grow over many years. The mistake is expecting one account to do both. Imagine you have $10,000 earning around 1% annually. After a year, you'd have roughly $10,100. Now imagine the same $10,000 growing at an average of 8% annually. Over 20 years, that could become roughly $46,600, assuming the return stays constant and ignoring taxes and fees. The point isn't that markets magically produce 8% every year. They don't. The point is that time and compounding can completely change the outcome. And here's the uncomfortable part. The biggest obstacle isn't always money. Sometimes it's fear. Let's say Sarah earns $4,000 a month. She decides to invest nearly everything because she wants her money to grow faster. Sounds smart? Until her car breaks down, her income suddenly disappears, and she needs $5,000 immediately. Now she's forced to sell investments at exactly the wrong time. That's why your first layer of money should be boring. Very boring. Build an emergency fund that covers several months of essential expenses, depending on your situation. This money stays accessible. It's not trying to beat the market. It's trying to keep you from making desperate financial decisions. Your emergency fund isn't there to make you rich. It's there to stop emergencies from making you poor. Now imagine James has $20,000 saved. Instead of seeing it as one giant pile of money, he divides its purpose. One part is for emergencies and near-term needs. The other part is money he won't need for years. This simple separation can change how you react to market movements. If your investment portfolio falls 15%, but you know your rent, bills, and emergency expenses are already covered, you're less likely to panic. Think of it like this. Your emergency fund is the fire extinguisher. Your investments are the garden. You don't water the garden with the fire extinguisher, and you definitely don't burn the garden because the weather changed for one afternoon. Here's another mistake beginners make. They think investing only matters if they can throw thousands of dollars into the market. It doesn't. Suppose you invest $300 every month, and purely as an illustration, your investments average 8% annually over 25 years. You would contribute $90,000, but the account could grow to roughly $285,000. The exact result isn't guaranteed. Markets don't move in straight lines. But the lesson is powerful. You don't need to start big. You need to start consistently. And consistency becomes much easier when you aren't constantly trying to predict the perfect moment to invest. So how do you actually move from saving to investing? Think of it as a staircase. First, protect your foundation. Build an emergency reserve appropriate for your situation. Second, separate short-term money from long-term money. Money you'll need soon shouldn't depend on what the stock market does tomorrow. Third, start with an amount you can maintain. It could be $50, $100, $300, or whatever fits your budget. The goal is creating a repeatable system. Fourth, keep the strategy understandable. For many long-term investors, diversified, low-cost index funds can be a simpler starting point than trying to predict which individual stock will explode next. You don't need to become a Wall Street genius just to begin. And if your investment strategy requires 3 monitors, 12 indicators, and caffeine at 2 in the morning, it might be a little more complicated than necessary. Finally, give the process time. Markets will fall, they will recover. There will be terrifying headlines, exciting headlines, and headlines that make absolutely no sense. Your job isn't to react to every headline. Your job is to remember why you invested in the first place. So here's the entire strategy. Build financial protection first. Keep emergency money separate from investment money. Start investing with an amount you can consistently maintain. Keep your investments diversified and simple, and let time and compounding do the heavy lifting. Saving gives you stability. Investing gives long-term money the opportunity to grow. You don't have to choose one forever. The goal is to know when each dollar should protect you and when it should work for your future. If you found this useful, subscribe for more simple videos about money, investing, and building long-term wealth. And tell me in the comments, are you currently focused more on saving or have you already started investing?